Today we're paying tributes to fathers, and I want to tell you about mine. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to my channel. In today's YouTube shorty video, I wanted to talk about my dad since today is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all the guys out there, all the grandparents who play the role of a father, or anybody who has been a father figure in your life. Well, let's talk about my dad. For those of you who have been with me, you know all about my ma. She has been on my channel in videos many times, and I've talked about her so much because she lived here with us and was such a big part of our lives. My dad, he died 43 years ago. It'll be 43 years in September. And to this day, I miss him so very much. A day doesn't go by where I don't think about him. He was such a huge influence in my life. He was a great dad, the best. And I was a daddy's girl, 100% through and through. My dad definitely was a family man. And of course, I have a brother and a sister, and he played with all of us. He was always there to have fun with us, and he was a lot of fun. He put all the toys together at Christmas time, sometimes backwards or upside down, like my dollhouse that I wanted so bad when I was a little girl. And he stayed up all night Christmas Eve putting it together so it would be down by the tree when I woke up in the morning. And he had the downstairs upstairs and the upstairs downstairs. But that was okay. I loved my dollhouse. My dad was a man of faith, and he's the one that gave me the foundation for my faith from the time I was a baby. He raised us kids very strict Catholic. My mother was not Catholic. So he's the one that took us to church every Sunday and taught us everything about the Catholic faith. I absolutely adored my dad, and he adored me. We were very close. Anything he did, I wanted to do. I always wanted to be with him. We lived in West Virginia when I was very young, and he would have to take business trips to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he would go on the train, and he would always take me. I would get sick as a dog because I get car sick, and I would throw up all over me, all over his suit because he was going there for business, and yet he took me over and over again, even though the same thing would happen every time. He loved to golf, and I went golfing with him. Now, I didn't golf. He played in a foursome, and I just tagged along all day long. I'm walking around this golf course every Sunday, and it was for hours because they played 18 holes. But I went. I picked up his balls. I handed him his golf tees. I handed him his golf clubs, whether he needed the number 9 or the iron or the putter or whatever it was. I knew all the clubs, the different ones, and what he would need. And it was such a pleasure for me to hand him the club. I kept his golf clubs clean and his golf shoes clean. My dad wasn't that kind of person. He would have wore his golf shoes if they were caked in mud and grass stuck to the little spokes on the bottom. He could have cared less what they looked like. But when we got back, I took those shoes and cleaned them and cleaned all the grass out between the spikes on the bottom and just everything. And of course, after the game, they went into the 19th hole, which was like a beer joint. And him and the other three men in the foursome would sit there and have some beers and talk and everything. I was right there with him. Didn't matter what he was doing, I wanted to be with him. He was a great provider for our family, a great protector for our family, and he was such a family man. I learned by watching him over the years what kind of man I would want in my life when I grew up and got married. I knew what values to look for, what principles, what type of character I wanted in a man, because I saw all that in him, and I didn't want anything any less. I don't have many pictures of my dad, but if I can scrape up a few of them, I'll insert them in this video. He was a nice-looking man. I thought he was very handsome. He was a singer. He had a beautiful voice. And he was a dancer. Boy, could that man dance. In fact, that's how him and my mom met. She went to a public high school, and he went to an all-boys Catholic high school. And after graduations, they were at the same place one time, and one of his friends said he should ask my mother to dance, and he would bet him $1 that she could keep up with him, because he could dance. And he was sure she couldn't. Well, he lost the $1. She kept up with him, and they were married shortly after that. He also was a whistler. He whistled all the time. To this day, I'm 72 years old. I cannot whistle at all. I can't get one sound to come out of my mouth. And I tried, and I tried. I always practiced when I was little. Never did work for me. But he would whistle all day long. You always knew where he was because you could hear that whistle. He would whistle tunes. He was a very happy, easygoing, fun person to be with. And today, on Father's Day, I just want to pay honor and tribute to him because he was such a special man in my life. I am so grateful that now he and my ma are together in heaven. I know he waited for her for a long time because he died very young at 54 years old. And my ma just died in January. So I'm grateful that they are together. And I just want to say, Happy Father's Day, Dad, and thank you. Thank you for being the best dad I could have ever asked for. And I can't wait until we meet again. Well, now I'm going to leave you with an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip today comes from Psalm 103:13. As a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. You know, I know many of you grew up without a father. Maybe your father chose to leave the family and not be there for you. Or maybe your dad died when you were very young, therefore he wasn't there. But we all have a heavenly Father who has always been there for all of us. I am very grateful that I had my dad in my life for almost 30 years. But I've always had my heavenly Father, and I still do. Even if you didn't grow up with your dad being in the home, hopefully you had a grandparent that took on that role of a father in your life. Maybe you had an older brother, an uncle, someone from your church, someone. I sure hope you did. But if you didn't, know that you had your heavenly Father and you still have him. He will always be there for all of us until the end of time. You know, for a girl, a dad is her first love, her hero. And my dad was definitely mine. And I thank God for the years that I did have with him. I was truly devastated when he died so suddenly at a young age. But I'm grateful for everything that he taught me, for all the encouragement he gave me, the confidence he gave me, and most of all, the abundance of love that he poured into my life. I thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya!